Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH the Flame Emperor episode number 226 based on novel. So let's start. With the Qingyo Tianmu spirit beast intercepting many strong men, Xiao Yan, Qing Wen, and Qing'er went towards the ghost moon well one after another. I didn't expect it to be so easy this time. I thought there would be a fierce battle. Xiao Yan came to the Gyujing not far away, and gently stroked the flame beast with both hands. His eyes were full of tenderness. Obviously he could not think of this little guy. There is still such a terrible life experience, can't help but say. Oh. The flame beast seemed to enjoy Xiao Yang's stroking his forehead, and let out a rather comfortable roar. Senior Soul Eater, what is the current situation in my body? Xiao Yang couldn't help but ask as he watched the flaming beast leave the Doqi Sea. It's very rare for you to have a sea of vindictive energy in your body, but it's a good thing after all. Because you didn't find out. Even if all the fighting chi in your body is swallowed up by this little guy, your power of life and death and fighting chi will not have any effect. The master of Soul Eater pretended to be profound. That's true. Xiao Yang nodded lightly after hearing this. The Doqi of ordinary people is stored in the Doqi Sea, but Xiao Yang, the Doqi Sea of the Doqi Sea has been swallowed up by the flame beasts, and he can still exert the power of life and death, which is quite strange. And the reason why you can be so easily unaffected by the Doqi Sea is probably related to this little guy, said Soul Eater. Flaming beasts. King of all beasts. Xiao Yang shook his head slightly when he heard the words, obviously not knowing why. Because the flame beast has devoured your source of strange fire and the power of holy flame, I am afraid that it has some close connections with you. Otherwise, it will not rush out to save you when you are in danger. So I guess, if you want to get your Doqi back, I'm afraid you have to ask the flaming beast. The Soul Eater said. Having a grudge against the flaming beast. Xiao Yang felt that his head was a little big. If this flaming beast is really the king of beasts, then he is not taking food from the tiger's mouth, and the king of beasts eats what he eats, and why does he spit it out? As of now, that's the only way it can be. Xiao Yang daringly agreed, and then looked at the innocent flaming beast in front of him. Now that there is no one around, let's solve the problem of Doqi first. Xiao Yang glanced at the people behind him who were stopped by the Qingyo Tianmu spirit beast. Qing Wen, there is still some time before Ghost Moon Well. It seemed that he heard Xiao Yang talking about the sea of vindictive qi, and the 23 colored flames on the flaming beast dimmed slightly, like a child who had done something wrong, quite mischievous. Is all my fighting qi eaten by you? Xiao Yang couldn't help laughing when he saw the flame beast like this. Wu Tilda the flame beast heard the words and shook its huge head crazily, indicating that it was not him. There is a huge amount of Doqi in the sea of Doqi in ordinary people, and that's the foundation of cultivation. In the end, you are a good little fellow. I swallowed all of them cleanly. How can I compress the sea of fighting chi and condense the fighting core to advance to fighting immortal? And he even stole my source of strange fire and the power of holy flame. Xiao Yang said with a smile on his face, but when talking about the power of strange fire and holy flame, the flames of the beast were in the eyes of the beast. There was clearly a hint of vigilance. Oh. Hearing this, the flame beast continued to shake his head. It seems that the king of all beasts is quite fond of the different fire and holy flame. Could it be that the ancient war was severely damaged by the evil race outside the territory, and the power of flame was needed to purify the evil and restore the power? And the Lord of Soul Eater looked at the beast of flames, and his heart was full. He couldn't help muttering. Okay, I didn't plan to let you spit it all out for me, but you have to give me back my grudge. Xiao Yang smiled as he looked at this fiery beast like a living treasure. Wang buzzing. When the flame beast heard the words, it was as happy as a child, and then the huge power in its body slowly flickered, as if something was brewing. The flame beast knows that it has swallowed too many things from Xiao Yang, fighting chi, strange fire, and holy flame, but fighting chi is not very useful to him, and it is okay to give it back to Xiao Yang, but the power of strange fire and holy flame is for himself. The best help cannot be easily returned to Xiao Yang. Seeing this, Xiao Yang frowned. It was obvious that the power within this flaming beast was disorganized, and it not only had the power of its own source of strange fire, but also the power of holy flame. Adding some other powers, this made Xiao Yang. Inflammation is strange. Oh. After a few minutes, something faintly gushed out from the mouth of the flaming beast. What is this? And Xiao Yang couldn't help asking when he looked at the mysterious light group in the mouth of the flaming beast. This light group is about the size of Xiao Yang's fist, but according to Xiao Yang's perception, The powerful power contained in it may be able to easily kill a powerhouse at the peak of Do Di Fenju had a very obvious resonance, which was clearly his own vindictiveness. Oh, this little guy is really mysterious, and he has compressed all your fighting chi? When he saw the fist-sized light group in the mouth of the Beast of Flames, the Lord of Soul Eater couldn't help but be shocked. Road. What? Xiao Yang was shocked when he heard this. Although Soul Eater didn't mention it, Xiao Yang knew that Do Di's cultivation was to constantly compress Do Chi Si, and if his strength reached the peak of Do Emperor, he would undoubtedly have to compress all Do Chi in Do Chi Si to form a fist. Only by the size can you condense the core of the battle have the qualification to advance to the Battle of Immortals. This step seems simple, but there are countless geniuses who have fallen on this step, which is enough to see that this step is not that simple. This flaming beast is really mysterious. I'm afraid there are many mysterious places that you don't know about. But that's fine. Since it has already helped you compress the sea of fighting spirit, the next step is to use this light ball to condense the core of the fighting spirit and advance to the level of fighting immortal. Seeing this, the Soul Eater said with a smile. Little guy, thank you very much. Xiao Yang stretched out his hand and gently put the ball of light into the sea of fighting chi in his body, and immediately said to the flaming beast. Oh. Hearing this, the flame beast nodded obediently. Wang Om. At the next moment, the flame beast burst into flames, apparently not knowing what happened. This is. Seeing this, Xiao Yang became vigilant. This is a breakthrough. Don't worry about it, since the problem of the battle chi in your body has been solved, you take it back and absorb the power of the two holy flames that you advanced before. I am afraid you can enter the next stage. The next time I wake up, I'm afraid there will be a real transformation, said Soul Eater. Well, little guy, you can't do anything. Xiao Yang directly returned the flaming beast to the Sea of Du Qi, and the flaming beast had just returned to the Sea of Du Qi, and its whole body was curled into a spherical, gorgeous. The flames continued to emerge, apparently falling into a deep retreat. The two of the Qing family have also arrived. After Xiao Yang finished all this, Qing'er and Qing Wen also slowly descended. With the start of the battle, it was already night, and the bright moonlight shone on the Yinuetan, which looked quite soft. Brother Xiao Yang. As soon as Qing Wen arrived on the open space in the center of Yinuetan, he greeted Xiao Yang. Brother Qing, you are here. Seeing this, Xiao Yang naturally smiled slowly. Brother Xiao Yang is really hidden. I never imagined that the spirit beasts as powerful as the Azure Ox were bought by Brother Xiao Yang. Qing Wen said. It's good luck, I happened to have some medicinal pills in my hand and made a deal with it. Xiao Yang naturally concealed this matter easily. After all, the flaming beast is the king of all beasts, and the less people know about it, the better. By the way, this ghost moon well. Looking at Qing Wen and the two, Xiao Yang hurriedly changed the subject. It stands to reason that ghost moon well must be full moon night to reveal its mystery. Although the moon is bright today, there is still one day left before the full moon night. The 3-jong-sized ghost moon well opened its mouth slightly after glancing at the bright moon hanging in the air. However, it's not impossible. At the next moment, Qing'er smiled slightly, revealing 2 small dimples, which was quite charming. What can I do? Xiao Yang was slightly startled when he heard the words. Obviously, this ghost moon well was rumored to be false, and Xiao Yang was looking forward to taking a look. Brother, let's do it. Qing'er said slightly. When Qing Wen heard the words, he slowly twisted his palm to accept the ring. And with Qing Wen's actions like this, a lot of silver-white light suddenly appeared on the ground standing in the center of Yinuetan. This is. Xiao Yang looked at this scene, vaguely guessed something, and said softly. Yinuetan is actually a swampy area, the surroundings are dangerous and full of poisonous waters, while the ghost moon well is above the open space in the center of Yinuetan. We don't know why there is such an open space in the center of Yinuetan. What my eldest brother is doing now is to use some special means to make Gyujing resonate, so as to achieve that sunny day and full moon. Qing'er explained slightly. This ghost moon well still has spirituality. Xiao Yang said in surprise when he heard this. Well, Gyujing seems to have spirituality, but that spirituality is not here, but down the well. Qing'er opened her mouth. So it is. Xiao Yang immediately laughed when he heard the words, but this ghost moon well, just after Xiao Yang solved the problem of the flaming beast and the Do Chi Si, he also checked it, but he didn't find anything strange. Okay, it's almost there. Qing Wen kept twisting the ring in her hand, and then scenes of silvery white light frantically poured out. This is some moonlight smoke. Although it is not very useful, it can blind the perception of Gyujing, making it mistakenly think that today is the night of the full moon. And according to the older generation of powerhouses in our Ghost King city, the mystery of this ghost moon well can only be revealed on the night of the full moon. Qing Wen slowly looked at the silver-white mist that was like smoke and said, "It turns out that there is such an effect." Xiao Yang also understood after seeing Qing's explanation. "Okay, get ready. After Gyujing emits a silver halo, you can look down at the mouth of the well. The mystery of Gyujing is undoubtedly on display. But remember, no matter what you see, don't say anything. And there's only one incense stick." After Qing Wen finished speaking, his eyes were always on Gyujing. "I don't know if this legend is true." Xiao Yang helplessly shrugged and smiled, but he did as he did. And the three of them all stared at Gyujing. At this time, Guiyu Well is located on the open space in the center of Yinuetan. The wellhead is about 3 feet in size. The tiny lines are quite ancient, and all of them are engraved on the edge of the wellhead. However, the silver-white mist released by Qingwen is slowly surrounding the well. Its wellhead. Hoo. At the next moment, a roar of yin wind suddenly erupted from the mouth of the Gyujing well, and then the silver-white mist was madly rushing towards the well empty under the gaze of the three of them. "What's going on?" Xiao Yang watched this scene and couldn't help but speak up, because he could smell a dangerous aura from the ghost moon well. When Qingwen heard this, he hurriedly made a quiet gesture towards Xiao Yang. And those huge silver-white mists were swallowed up by the ghost moon well in an instant. Successful, then. "Hurry up." Seeing this, Qingwen said to Xiao Yang, then pulled Qing'er and walked straight to the well, and Xiao Yang also surrounded him. "Strange, I just saw that there was no well water at the well head. How come after a while, there is well water, and it even spreads to the edge of the well?" Xiao Yang murmured slightly in his heart. At the wellhead at this time, a pool of well water as bright as the moon filled the wellhead tightly, and through the well water in the wellhead, at a glance, I saw a beautiful full moon. A sunny day and a full moon, is it as mysterious as the legends say? Xiao Yang muttered, then he didn't dare to be distracted, and looked at the well. And as Xiao Yang watched like this, the picture in the wellhead was still calm, without any change. 1 minute. 2 minutes. 5 minutes. A full moon is still reflected in the wellhead, and there is nothing else. Isn't this ghost moon well broken? Xiao Yang was also depressed at this time. After all, the time for a stick of incense was about to end, but Qing'er and Qingwen saw something and were staring at the well. I originally wanted to use the mystery of this ghost moon well to predict the future, but unfortunately this thing seems useless to me. After watching it for a few minutes, there was no response, and Xiao Yang also gave up. Xiao Yang believes that he is not a romantic person. He has long been content with Medusa Kaelin and Zuna, but Mu Yingying has no choice but to sacrifice like this, and she will definitely give her a perfect explanation in the future, just for the future. Xiao Yang is also curious. After all, the word love is extremely elusive. After finally encountering such a mysterious thing as Ghost Moon Well, naturally, I wanted to use it to find out, but unfortunately it didn't come true. "Have you read it all?" After a few breaths, Qingwen was the first to break the situation and said slowly, "Yes." Xiao Yang and Qing'er both agreed. However, Xiao Yang found out that since he saw Ghost Moon Well, there seemed to be more things on Qing'er that he couldn't see through. "Now that you're done, let's go. The real treasure is under the Ghost Moon Well." After Qingwen finished speaking, she jumped up and went down to the Ghost Moon Well. "Xiao Yang, follow." Qing'er also said something to Xiao Yang and jumped in directly. "There really is something down here." And Xiao Yang watched the well water drop rapidly, and jumped into it without stopping. At this point, the three figures jumped directly into the Ghost Moon Well, but in a place far away from the ghost world, a rather mysterious thing happened. Demon World. In a rather mysterious cave, a figure stared at a huge prismatic crystal mirror in front of him, and said in surprise, "There is actually someone in the ghost world that Lord Monster Emperor is looking for." The ghost world actually has the human being that the Lord Monster Emperor is looking for. Looking at the prismatic crystal in front of him, the figure of a man with a heavy ruler on his back was perfectly projected, and the mysterious figure in the cave couldn't help but speak. Said, his voice full of shock. The mysterious figure is like a human, with a dignified appearance. A pair of eyes shot the cold star. "Lord Longlang, what's going on?" Hearing the shocking voice in the cave, dozens of figures outside the cave couldn't help but burst into the cave, their eyes filled with shocking eyes. Demonic. The ghost chi in the ghost world is almost black, and its attributes are mostly gloomy and weird, but the demon chi is different. The demon chi is extremely domineering and mostly green. "You came just in time." The figure who was treated with respect by everyone heard the words, but nodded slowly, and a strange look flashed in his pupils. What is this? The figures who poured in were of different shapes, but they had a tiger-headed person and a wolf-headed person, which was quite peculiar. This is the human who saved the demon emperor. Long Lang stared at Xiao Yan's figure in the huge prism, and said quietly, "The human beings who saved the demon emperor? Could it be that the legend is true?" After the leading dragon wolf finished speaking, a bunch of monsters couldn't help but said in shock. Sacred flame is present, Fenju is out, and the demon emperor is born. Long Lang looked at the huge prism and said word by word, with a majestic demonic energy in his voice, rising into the sky. Lord Demon Emperor is the true overlord of our demon world, and in the last battle of the Great Thousand Worlds, Lord Demon Emperor was suppressed. In the past few years, the Demon Emperor has not been here, and the demon world has long since been torn apart. The other demon beasts couldn't help but muttered. So this time, I will personally go to the ghost world to find this human. Humans who possess Shengyang and Fenju can definitely help the Demon Emperor escape from the seal. There was a frenzy in Long Lang's eyes, which obviously had a good relationship with the so-called Demon Emperor. Lord Dragon Wolf, it is absolutely impossible. Now that the demon world is divided into 3 parts, if you leave, I am afraid that the other 2 forces will stare at us. At that time, there will be no leaders, and the consequences will be unimaginable. One of the demon beasts couldn't help saying, "Go on, I ordered all forces under the Haisha Long Lang to stop fighting. If the other 2 guys attack while I'm gone, give up the territory. Once the Demon Emperor breaks free from the seal, our demon world can be completely unified. The Ghost World, the Devil World, the Buddha World, you united the power of the 3 worlds to seal the Demon Emperor of the demon world. This time the Demon Emperor is reborn, these new hatreds and old hatreds, we will count together." And the Dragon Wolf's tone became extremely angry, a trace of anger. The domineering demonic energy permeates the air, and the surrounding space feels distorted. "That's it, I'm leaving." After the Dragon Wolf finished his instructions, he turned into a meteor and disappeared here. Alas, the Black Devil Dragon Wolf is still loyal to Lord Demon Emperor. However, why was the Lord Monster Emperor sealed by the powers of the 3 worlds of the Ghost World, the Devil World, the Buddha World, and the 3 worlds? Could it have something to do with the woman you brought back that time? Forget it, we still stick to our current territory. I hope the other 2 guys don't know the news of Lord Longlang's departure too soon. But the oldest monster slowly shook his head and said. And the black evil dragon wolf left the cave directly, and then came to a rather mysterious place. I saw that this mysterious place was precious and wrapped in a mysterious halo. The halo was sandwiched with black, red, and gold. At the very edge, several dazzling large characters stood slowly. Demon Fate Cave Heaven. This place turned out to be the most mysterious cave in the demon world. Among the 7 realms, each realm has an extremely mysterious place. The Ghost Realm is the Ghost Cave, and this Demon Realm is the Demon Fate Cave in front of it. The black evil dragon wolf still looks like a human, but when he first came to this demonic cave, his breath converged, and then a gentle green demonic aura was released, surrounding his body, and then approached him. "Sir," the Heishan Longlang said respectfully as soon as he arrived at the gate of Yoroi Dongshan. However, the dragon wolf clearly saw that the cave sky was filled with eerie black energy, the golden Buddha light that purifies the world and the red demonic energy that erodes the hearts of the demon world. Although the black devil dragon wolf is tyrannical, he does not dare to rashly step into the heaven of demon fate. After all, the power of the 3 realms can suppress even the demon emperor. If he stepped into it, it would be no different from courting death. "What's up with the dragon wolf? What's the matter?" After a few minutes, a voice came from the demon fate cave. That voice was quite gentle, but it had a domineering power that defied heaven and earth. "Sir, the person you're looking for has appeared," Heishan Longlang said respectfully, his voice filled with a hint of fiery. Haisha Longlang has followed the demon emperor for many years, and he naturally knows the demon emperor's strength. If he can lift the seal, he will definitely be able to unify the demon world. "What? Where is he?" The originally gentle voice was shocked by the words of the Heishan Longlang. He was imprisoned in the heaven of demon fate by the power of the demon realm, Buddha realm and the 3 realms. He is the true overlord of the entire demon realm, the demon emperor. And now that the demon emperor heard the words, he was naturally overjoyed, because he looked like this: life is better than death, he must break away from the seal, in order to complete some unfinished things, sir. According to the Zhuantianjing just now intelligence, this human appeared in the ghost world. Said the Haisha Longwolf. "The holy flame is present, the burning is determined, and the Demon Emperor is born. But the guy who has Fen Ju can only be a human being. How could he appear in the ghost world? But the Demon Emperor who was in the cave of Demon Fate was hesitant. My lord, I am here to bid you farewell. This time, I will bring him back and completely lift your seal. The Heishan Longlang said slowly. Longlang, remember, you are the weakest among the three, but you met the other two guys, so don't be reckless. But you are a wise man, I believe you can succeed. The Demon Emperor heard the words, condensed slightly, and said softly. My subordinates know that they will not disgrace their mission. When Longlang heard this, he nodded slightly. This journey to the ghost world is far away, remember to be careful with the Master of the Soul. The Demon Emperor said in a deep voice, and then fell silent. Yeah. Longlang heard the words, gave a big gift to the demon world, and then turned around and left. And with the departure of the dragon wolf, the place is also returning to calm, but a voice of resentment said slowly. What a ghost world, devil world, Buddha world, when they imprisoned me, they caused me to lose a lot of things. When I was born again, when the three worlds were destroyed. When the words fell, an air of pride that despised heaven and earth, and the world was overshadowed by it, quietly emerged. With the departure of the black evil dragon and wolf from the demon world, Xiao Yan and his party in the ghost world also had their adventures. Boom boom boom. Since they didn't see the mystery of the ghost moon well, Xiao Yan and his party jumped into the ghost moon well. Obviously, there are more important treasures below. What Xiao Yang didn't know was that this ghost moon well was more or less related to the Shentian realm of the demon world, and he was already being watched by the demon world. Are you alright? Qing'e couldn't help asking when she seemed to notice Xiao Yang's brief absence when she fell. It's okay, it's almost the bottom of the well. Xiao Yang shook his head and said. I didn't know what was wrong just now, but my soul power actually felt a faint green aura, and that green aura was extremely domineering, making Xiao Yang quite uncomfortable. Moreover, the depth of this ghost moon well was far beyond Xiao Yang's imagination, although there was no danger along the way. What Xiao Yang felt just now was the demon spirit of the demon world. Strange, the ghost world is so far away from the demon world, how could it be? I hope it's an illusion. And even the Lord of Soul Eater doesn't know the secret, so he can only do it. Be careful, the bottom of this well is quite mysterious, I don't know what guardian it has. In the next moment, a light of dawn slowly appeared hundreds of meters below everyone's feet, and then Qingwen said solemnly, there is another mystery in this ghost moon well. Looking at the length just now, I'm afraid this well is several thousand meters deep. Xiao Yang couldn't help but say, it's here. Qing'e let out a coquettish cry, and then the three figures fell directly to the ground. This is, so it is. As soon as he landed, Qingwen couldn't help laughing. Brother, what's wrong? And Qing'e asked suspiciously, where are you looking? Xiao Yang just glanced at him, and he knew why Qingwen smiled. Because the three of them are at the bottom of the well, and there are only two roads in the bottom of the well. The back road was completely blocked by a pool of extremely cold well water, but it seemed that the spring was located. At this time, all the spring water poured back to the spring, and the front and rear roads were revealed, and the front was a dark road. Mysterious passage, I don't know where it leads. There is a reason why we must take advantage of the full moon night. Now, Qing'e also understands that on the full moon night, the well water of this ghost moon well will fill up to the mouth of the well, and the mysterious legend of the sunny day and the full moon will appear. But after a stick of incense, the well water will pour into the ground and return to the spring like an ebb tide, thus revealing this unknown passage. It's exactly as my father said. Qingwen said with a smile. Let's go, the real treasure should be here. Xiao Yang was also a bold and careful person. Seeing that there was only one road blocked, he started walking slowly. Go. Be careful, there may be some mechanism. After all, even the people in the ghost city don't know about it. Only my father was lucky enough to come in once when he was young. Qingwen said with a smile. Yes. Xiao Yang and Qing'e both agreed. The three people's voices just moved, and suddenly this extremely dark place exudes a spooky and eerie atmosphere. The fire is coming. Seeing this, Xiao Yang couldn't help but call out softly, and suddenly a bluish-yellow flame slowly beat on the palm of his hand, but with Xiao Yang's suppression, the aura of the holy flame obviously did not permeate. Crash. With the appearance of Xiao Yang's flame, the dark passage suddenly became brighter, and a trace of black gas seemed to be frightened, and he quickly fled. It seems that this kid has a lot of secrets. I still have to get into the relationship. Qingwen's eyes slowly turned, obviously not as mercenary as ordinary people. He knew that Xiao Yang was fine as a friend, but if he was an enemy, it would be quite difficult. And with the appearance of Xiao Yang's flames, the whole picture of this dark passage was immediately seen by the three of them. This passage is not straight as usual, but has a curved shape, twists and turns, and I don't know where it leads. On the walls around the passage, there are some quite exquisite carvings, which are obviously from the hands of the master, and so many exquisite carvings symbolize the extraordinary treasures here. Here, it's a bit strange. After a few minutes, Qingwen took the lead in breaking the calm, and there was a hint of worry in his eyes. "Brother, what's the matter?" Qing'e had been protected between Xiao Yang and Qingwen, so she didn't feel anything unusual. The terrain here is curved, it's not straight, it's a bit like a coiled dragon formation. Xiao Yang said with bright eyes. Coiling dragon formation? When Qing'e heard this, Liu's brows wrinkled, obviously not understanding what this is. The so-called coiling dragon formation is some formation used to protect treasures. If it can't be cracked, I am afraid that it will always fall into an endless cycle. Qingwen said. Don't worry, I have a solution. Xiao Yang also laughed. As soon as the voice fell, he closed his eyes and listened, and an inscription of the core life of the stock directly surged out, frantically facing the passage in all directions. And after a few breaths, Xiao Yang opened his eyes. Come here, Xiao Yang said, looking at the wall in front of him. This. Seeing this, Qing'e and Qingwen said Xiao Yang so firmly, they couldn't help looking at each other. Obviously, the place this guy was talking about was a huge wall, and this wall was a real existence. You can't go straight through here. This is just some tricks of the Panlong formation. Follow me. When Xiao Yang saw this, he also smiled slightly, then in order to dispel their concerns, he said, Okay. Qing'e and Qingwen heard the words, looked at each other slowly, and then the figures followed directly. Bang bang bang. Seeing this, Xiao Yang nodded slowly, and then did nothing, just moved and hit the wall in front of him. Phut. With a sound, there was no embarrassing situation in his imagination, but he easily broke through the shackles of the wall, and immediately came to an unfamiliar place. Brother Xiao Yang is really amazing. After seeing that he left the Panlong formation, Qingwen smiled slowly. Here, it should be the main entrance. Xiao Yang watched the two figures slowly come to a huge copper door dozens of meters in front of the three. Standing in front of the three of them, was a huge bronze gate that was dozens of meters in size. Above the bronze gate, a barren aura slowly permeated. Let's be a little more cautious, Qingwen couldn't help saying as he watched Xiao Yang go towards the giant bronze gate. It's all right, trust me, Xiao Yang said confidently, because Xiao Yang had already probed it just now, and the soul force actually passed through the giant bronze gate to capture the scene that followed. Because inside, there is a magnificent pill hall. Brother, I believe him. When Qingwen was also afraid, Qinjeryu gently pulled the corner of his clothes and said, Then let's go. Seeing this, the three of them headed towards the front in unison. Boom boom boom. As Qingwen and the two men cleared their concerns, Xiao Yang pushed his hand towards the giant bronze gate effortlessly. And as Xiao Yang's palm did not carry any power and gently pushed it towards the bronze giant gate, the bronze giant gate seemed to have no resistance and was allowed to be easily pushed open by Xiao Yang. Boom boom boom. At the moment when the bronze giant door slowly opened, a barren aura spread out from the aura, making the three people's hearts tense. Immediately behind the giant bronze gate, a trace of light emerged. Squeak. After the giant bronze door was completely opened, the scene behind the bronze was discovered by everyone. Behind the giant bronze gate, there is also an incomparably huge space, but this space is different from ordinary spaces. There are many stoves in this space, and stone pillars also appear in it. The stone pillars seem to light. And through such a building, one after another magnificent medicine refining cauldron stands in front of him. This is Dan Palace. Looking at this scene, even Qing'e's beautiful eyes kept spinning. In the ghost world, pharmacists are rarer than in the human world, so the status of pharmacists in the ghost world is extremely high. This should be the pill palace where a certain senior refined pills. With so many stoves and medicine refining cauldrons, the level of this medicine refining master is probably not low. Qingwen was also shocked at this time, obviously frightened by this magnificent pill palace. Ordinary pharmacists have outstanding strength just by having a few cauldrons, but there are dozens of cauldrons here, not to mention some stone pillars, which is enough to show that this must be a person of the level of a pharmacy master. I'm afraid these medicine refining cauldrons are just a trick. And you see, the light emitted from the stone pillars is obviously unusual. Xiao Yang is a tyrannical alchemist after all. Just by perception, He can perceive that these alchemy cauldrons are sparse and ordinary, but they are not. It's a bit surprising to have such a large number. The light in this stone pillar. When Qingwen heard the words, he walked towards the stone pillar slightly. Those stone pillars stand at the very edge of the entire pill hall, and the stone pillars are not sealed. One by one air holes emerge, and the center of the stone pillar is the birthplace of the light source. This is a 7-treasure glazed lantern. Xiao Yang said softly. 7-treasure glazed lantern? When Qing'er and Qingwen heard the words, they both looked at each other. Obviously this was the first time they had heard of it. The 7-treasure glazed glass lamp is something that ancient alchemists like very much. This kind of lamp will not go out for 10,000 years, and it also has a mysterious effect that can increase the chance of alchemists becoming pills. It's unknown if it's true or not. Xiao Yang said. It turns out that there is such a secret. When the two of them heard the words, Qing'er nodded. What? There are still soldiers here? And after passing through the 7-treasure glazed lanterns in these stoves, there were figures next to them, as if guarding something, guarding outside each 7-treasure glazed lantern. Qing'er couldn't help but say. Xiao Yang heard the words, and when he looked, he immediately found that these guys were no different from ordinary human beings, except that they had no life and looked like dead things, but their skin was the same as living people, which was quite strange. It is said that some ancient puppet techniques can keep the human body from being damaged forever. These guys are probably the soldiers who guard the Pill Palace. Xiao Yang looked at these puppet guards who closed their eyes and did not make any movement, and explained. It's so mysterious here. Qing'er's beautiful eyes kept turning. Apparently this place gave her an eerie feeling. 18 cauldrons surround the heart. There should be something strange here. Xiao Yang didn't hesitate too much. He turned his head and looked at the as many as 18 cauldrons neatly arranged in the pill hall, and looked at it slightly. There won't be any mechanism, right? Qing'er hurriedly said, after all, this place is quite dangerous, and no one has ever entered. I don't know, but be careful. Xiao Yang heard the words, and the dazzling soul power emerged, and he probed the space of the pill hall several times, and slowly shook his head. According to Xiao Yang's perception, there doesn't seem to be any difference in this alchemy hall, and the so-called treasures of people like Ghost King City are probably the elixirs in the medicine cauldron. Looks like I'm thinking too much. Xiao Yang said depressedly, but when he glanced at the group of stone soldiers surrounding the 7-treasure glazed lantern, he suddenly felt uncomfortable. Brother, didn't my father say that there is a treasure in the Ghost Moon Well that can break through the Do Emperor and become Do Immortal? This. And Qing'er didn't pay attention for a while, and asked. My father didn't come here before, he just discovered it by accident, so it could be that my father sensed it wrong. Qing'wen also said after feeling around and not finding it. Let's see if there are still medicinal pills in this medicine refining cauldron. Xiao Yang also made up his mind, since everyone has come, he can't go back empty-handed. Although Xiao Yang has solved the Do Chi Si and can condense the Do Core to advance to Do Immortal, he still lacks a boost. 11 Ayurveda Health Secrets from Ancient India. The Ultimate Serpent Showdown. Which giant reigns supreme? The truth about the world's largest snake revealed. After all, after condensing the fighting core, a lot of power is needed to truly break through the Do Emperor, and the power of the holy flame that could have broken through the Do Emperor was absorbed by the beasts of flame. Before, Xiao Yang didn't even dare to think about it. Qing'er and Qing'wen nodded slowly when they heard the words. I'll come first. Xiao Yang said in a deep voice, then a bluish-yellow flame appeared on the palm of his hand, wrapping his palm, and then walked towards the nearest cauldron beside him. As soon as he came to the tripod, Xiao Yang found that the tripod was covered with thick dust, which was obviously a long time ago. I hope you won't let me down. Xiao Yang didn't care about this, he directly displayed his dazzling soul power, and then left in the cauldron. After a few breaths, a rather exquisite jade bottle suddenly appeared on Xiao Yang's palm, and in the jade bottle, a long-sized medicinal pill slowly entered the sight of the three of them. Sure enough, there is still a baby, and seeing this scene Qing'er and Qing'wen couldn't help but be overjoyed. Although this medicinal pill may seem simple and unpretentious, but what is the specific grade, you still have to open the bottle and take a sniff to find out. Xiao Yang said. Brother Xiao Yang, please. Qing'wen smiled. Yes. Xiao Yang heard the words, nodded lightly, then dragged the jade bottle with one hand, and went to the mouth of the bottle with the other, trying to open it. And at this moment, even the three of them didn't notice that the puppet guards surrounding the 7-treasure glazed lantern suddenly became loose. Xiao Yang's palm just took off the mouth of the bottle, and the medicinal pill in the jade bottle was like ice meeting fire, and it melted in an instant. And it's not over just melting. The medicinal pills in the jade bottle fused instantly after the bottle mouth was opened, and then turned into a colorful smoke, which slowly diffused out. It was just a breath of time, and it filled the entire Dan palace. The next moment, directly facing the puppet guards poured into the body. Not good. And Xiao Yang noticed this abnormality when he just opened the bottle, but even if Xiao Yang was quick-witted and wanted to stop it, it was too late. This video will end here.